Ugh. Oh my gosh. Hello, this is J Star Wars 360, and I'm sorry if I don't sound very enthusiastic right now, but I just got back from seeing A Million Ways to Die in the West, but you've read the title and you're watching this video, so obviously you know, then obviously you want to know my thoughts, which are, first off, I have a written review below if you want more in-depth as to why I thought. But anyway, comedy is subjective. Yeah, film is subjective, especially comedy. And that's evidenced by the fact that my brother saw this film a week ago with some friends and loved it. And so, by recommendation, I decided to check it out. And also, my dad was interested in seeing it. My dad, I feel bad for my dad because he doesn't go see that many movies with us anymore. And I figured, well, this seems up his alley. And he liked it, but oh my gosh, you know that feeling when oh my gosh, there's so many great movies out there right now. I want to see the new X-Men. How to Train Your Dragon 2 looks really good, and I really hope anyone who's watching this sees that this weekend and not this. Because, oh my gosh, this movie was just a complete bore and waste of my time. And it's sad because I love Family Guy. I really enjoyed Ted. I think McFarlane's pretty funny overall. So to see him make something that's a complete and total bore is really disappointing. The story to this film is really nothing special. It's Seth MacFarlane basically playing himself or what he wants to see. It's him, he's a loser, and he wants to make something himself. Basically, it's like, you know how After Earth was Will Smith trying to get everyone to notice his son, and like, hey, look at my son, look how famous he is, look, he can act. This is basically the same thing, except it's with McFarlane showing himself and how good of an actor he is, and it just doesn't work. I think the biggest thing in this movie, there's issues I have with the characters and story, but I think ultimately when you go into a comedy, Chris Stuckman kind of touched on this in his review. But anyway, most important thing in a comedy is humor. Do you laugh? And yeah, I laugh, but the moments when I laughed were very few and very far between. Like, most of the movie, there were these long periods in the movie where I was just sitting there in silence. There were some jokes that were really, unfortunately this movie, all the really good jokes were given away in the trailer. There's a really funny cameo that's given away in the trailer, and oh my gosh, I swear, trailers are just ruining movies. With Amazing Spider-Man 2, which if you've seen that movie and you've seen the trailer, you already know what I mean. And with this movie, it's like, oh my gosh. Makes me glad. It's times like these when I'm grateful for box trolls when they really don't show where they're smart about marketing it. There's funny moments, especially towards the end, but most of it I was just not into it. Again, funniest, if you've seen the trailer, you've already seen all the really funny stuff. There is some really funny stuff towards the end, which kind of makes it redeemable, but again, most of it doesn't work. And there's some gross out humor. Some people find it funny. There's this one joke in the movie involving someone pooping, and all the gross humor, especially this, didn't find funny. I found it uncomfortable and stupid, and I just rolled my eyes at it. Although this one woman behind me was laughing at it for a minute. Again, comedy is subjective, but still, it's like there are moments when the comedy was so either dull or bad in this movie that it was borderline being bad of scary movie. Story's not that interesting. It's really generic, not well put together. The film is almost 2 hours. You honestly could have cut out like 15 or 20 minutes worth of material, and it would have flowed much better. Maybe I would have laughed, been a bit more better on it. It's a generic story. The film really doesn't have that much good comedy in terms of poking fun of the West. there is some good stuff with them poking fun at the West and random deaths, but most of it is just, it really doesn't do as much with that as I would have liked. It's mostly just Seth MacFarlane just talking up there doing really bad stand-up, which sometimes works, but not really. There's all these great celebrities in the movie, but they are not given much to work with, and they honestly, some of them feel really unnecessary, like they're only there so their name can be on the poster. So, to give you incentive to go see the film. And again, none of them are that interesting. I mean, they do a good job, but I honestly feel like a lot of them really don't add much to the film. McFarlane's the biggest distraction. I never at once saw any sort of semblance of a character. I just saw McFarlane being himself, and unfortunately, he's not funny. I mean, there are some really good comedic, I don't know. He works really well in Family Guy, but here, it's just, There's some nice shots of the desert, but that's probably the nicest thing of this movie. So there are really good jokes in the movie. It's just most of them are in the trailer. And there's just a lot of really dull jokes spaced in between. And it's really disappointing because this is coming from a guy with a lot of credibility. And it's also disappointing because there's a lot of really good films that I could be watching right now. How to Train Your Dragon 2 came out this weekend. Oh my gosh. What I wouldn't have given to see that film over this one, especially in 3D and everything, but I mean, if you're, I would only recommend seeing this film if you're a die-hard McFarlane fan. Other than that, I'd just recommend, if you're curious in seeing this film, I'd recommend waiting until it comes out on DVD. Save your money and go see something else. I really hope that you're smart and go see How to Train Your Dragon 2, which comes out this weekend, or go see the new X-Men if you haven't seen that already. Neighbors, I hear, is really funny. Do not waste your time watching this film. You're going to come out feeling really disappointed, like, why did I waste my time with that when I could be watching something better? And everyone says this, and yes, Blazing Saddles is a much better Western comedy. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say don't see the film. If you're really, really, really curious, go see it. I'm not going to stop you. And you might like it. I mean, again, my brother really liked it. My dad really liked it. But, again, if you're on the fence, take my word for it. You don't need to rush out and see this in theaters. This isn't a great comedy. Again, save your money for something else. Go see How to Train Your Dragon 2. Give that movie all the love it deserves because it looks really good. And I envy you if you saw that film this weekend because I had to sit through A Million Ways to the West. Oh yeah, and in case anyone's wondering, I haven't told my family that I have a strong disagreement in terms of the quality of A Million Ways to the West. So, but yeah, if they're watching this, they'll probably realize it. Although, my family doesn't know I have a YouTube channel as of yet. But anyway, so... And the reason why is because whenever I have a strong disagreement with a movie, with me and my brother, can kind of get a little heated, so I just was like, oh yeah. So I just talked about the parts I thought were really funny, which unfortunately were very few and far between and given away in the trailers. Especially that one cameo, which if you've seen the trailers, you already know about it, and it's... yeah. What was I going to say? But yeah. Note to self, I need to stop taking comedy recommendations from my brother since we clearly have different taste in comedy. Just so you know, in case you're wondering, my brother also said he liked Hangover Part 3. If you've seen my Hangover Part 3 review, you already know I was not a big fan of that movie. So yeah, I didn't like that, but again, I can always take comfort in the fact that the Lego Movie was awesome, Grand Budapest Hotel is awesome, there's tons of awesome movies coming out. Hopefully I'll get to see something awesome this summer, but if not, I always have Box Trolls to look forward to. And yeah. So, did you have the misfortune of seeing Million Ways to Die in the West, and was it a misfortune for you? Please comment and let me know below. And as always, like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Again, I'm sorry I am not more enthusiastic, but one, this movie just left a bad taste in my mouth, especially when I could be seeing X-Men or Dragon. And also, my parents are sleeping in the next room, and I don't want to wake them up. So yeah, JStar260, and hopefully the next time I review a movie, I'll be in much better taste, like when I reviewed the Lego Movie or Grand Budapest Hotel. But until then, this is JStar360 signing out. I hope whatever movie you saw this weekend was really enjoyable. Have a good day.